Hola, Aure lien.
Hello, Aure lien. This is for Real Madrid television. You've already won 8 titles with Real Madrid, including a Champions League. You're going through a great moment for yourself, but how are you? And are Real Madrid ready for tomorrow's game against Atletico? As I said earlier, I think the whole team is ready for tomorrow's team. We do know it's going to be a difficult game because it's, not our turf, but I do think this is a great moment for us, and I look forward to winning more this year. Hello, Aure lien. Marco de la Rocha for El Chiringuito. Who supported you the most through difficult moments, and what was the key thing you had to do to win your supporters back over after a difficult time that you went through? Well, we've got an amazing squad. We have a lot of support from our staff, no matter what happened during the season. But anyway, we face every game with all the commitment we're capable of. This is your job. You like talking about this, but anyway, I can guarantee you that the whole team, the coach, the whole staff, we are together, and we're working well. Hello, I'm from OK Diario. Against AC Milan, you were booed by the stadium. What did you feel back then, and how important was Ancelotti in that process to help you get back to your top level of form? Well, as soon as the game starts, the most important thing for me is to keep my focus and do what I have to do on the pitch. Of course, I can hear the booing, but at the end of the day, each game has its own history. Fans started booing, but after that, I played well, I think, and that's the most important thing. Hello, this is from Radio Marca. On the day you played Celta, you also were booed, but Mbappe defended you. And the other day, Mbappe scored against Rayo after a difficult 2 weeks, and you got close to him when you were 1 goal ahead. Now, he's your friend. So, you know him. And what tips and recommendations do you give him when he goes through difficult times? Well, it's difficult to say because was that really a difficult time for him? He, true, didn't score at all for 2 games in a row, but at the end of the day, he's an incredible player. For us professional players, the most important thing is always the next game, and Kylian doesn't need advice from anyone. I think he's very happy here at this club. He scored lots of goals for Real Madrid, and he will score lots more in the future, so no problem really. Hello, Tchouame. This is Jose Aguado from La Razón. At Real Madrid, you've played as both a defender and a midfielder. What's the difference between the two? They're 2 completely different things. Completely different. As a defender, you have a little bit more time, perhaps, to play, to think. Which also means, however, that it's a bit harder to keep your focus. Whereas as a midfielder, you have to hold the ball all the time, and you have to, again, keep your focus razor sharp, because you could be receiving the ball anytime. They're 2 different things.
Bueno, pour l'équipe RTL, en español, ¿no? Vale. Quería saber cómo...
Hello, Aure lien. How do you think Kylian feels right now? Do you think he's more motivated ahead of the next game? after the criticism he received after the first leg, because he was criticised quite harshly, do you think he's more motivated? And do you have an opinion of why he seems to struggle more when he plays Atleti? Is it for Atleti's defence? Well, the truth is that Kylian wants to score in every single game, and so to him there's not much of a difference between playing at home or in an away ground. He's very happy here. There's really no problem. Hello, this is Ben Fernandez. You're very young. How old are you? I'm 21. I'm 21. This is for Edu Real. I'm going to ask you this question in Spanish. In France, you've been heavily criticised. Some people said that you're just a run-of-the-mill player, that you never really carved out any space for you at Real Madrid. Would you like to respond to those criticisms? Do you think you deserve to be here at Real Madrid? Well, as I said earlier, the most important thing for me is always the next game. We know that at any time we're liable to get criticised, and you could be the best player in the world, you're still going to get criticised. It's just how it works. But I think with experience we learn how to cope with that. And as I said earlier, sometimes you can put on a good performance and still get criticised. It is true that perhaps we do struggle from time to time, but that doesn't change the fact that you have to keep on working, trying to improve, and if you do things right, then your moment will come. Hello, Aure lien Tchouame Sanchez from Radio Nacional. You just mentioned improving. Do you think you've improved, and how, in the last month? Playing alongside Camavinga and Modric, is it any different? Does it help you playing alongside them in the midfield? Well, my goal is to improve all the time across all aspects of the game, on the ball, off the ball, my focus, everything. And about Kama and Modric, we know that they're both incredible players. They have different characteristics, but for me it's always a pleasure to play with them, because they enable you to do lots of different things, really, and they make it easier to play for the team. Last two questions. This is from Mundo Deporte Colombia. You just said that defence and midfield are two different positions, and earlier, sorry, let me repeat that. You said that midfield and defence are two different positions. In the last two Champions League games, you've played in both positions. My question is, what strategy do you think Madrid will be using tomorrow to counteract Atleti's attacks? Sorry, can you say that again? That was way too fast in Spanish. Yeah, sorry about that. What strategy do you think you will be using tomorrow to hold back Atletico Madrid, since they are so offensive in the midfield and in the defence? Yes, granted, Atletico Madrid are going to be playing a very offensive game, but we do know what to do in the defence and in the midfield. We've won the first game already, but tomorrow we won't be settling for a draw. We want to win tomorrow's game as well. So defensively and offensively, we have to give it our all if we want to win. Last question, please. Hello, Aure lien Romero from El Mundo. Ancelotti has praised you for your character over the past few weeks. You've been booed. Right now you're going through perhaps one of the finest moments in your season. Have you always known what you had to do when you were criticised? And
from me. But know about it. As I said previously, the most important thing is to stay focused on the next thing. You know, no matter what happens during the game or during a season, at the end of the day, we will take a look at it at the end of the season. For example, during the game against Celta. Of course, I heard everything that happened during the game, but at the end of the day, I was like, okay, do what you have to do, and let's see if at the end of the game they are still going to do the same. You just have to work, stay focused, don't really take a look at what you're saying, because, you know, someday you are good, the other one you're not good, but it's part of the game. You just have to stay focused on the main thing. As we say, keep the main thing, and just keep improving every single day.
Hello, Mr. Good morning. Víctor Keller in directo for Real Madrid Television. Tomorrow's game is your fourth derby against Atletico de Madrid. How are Real Madrid ahead of that, and what's the key to securing the quarterfinals tomorrow? We are ready, as we always are in competitions like this. Of course, it's going to be a difficult game. We know that. We do know it's going to be tough, but we are confident to press on in this competition. For us, this is a very special competition. Hello, Mr. José Luis Sanchez for La Sexta. Tomorrow's game of the knockout stage, is it going to be a turning point for you? It's an important game, of course, because we want to keep on dreaming and playing in this competition like we have in the past years. The round of 16 this year is harder than in the past few years, but we still have the same confidence as ever. We want to keep on playing this competition up until the very last game. Hello, Mister. This is Nico Diaz-Menendez for Televisión Española. Since you've arrived here at Real Madrid, Atleti and Real Madrid have won an equal number of games, except in the Champions League, where Real Madrid seems to be winning more. Why is that, in your opinion? Well, to my knowledge, as far as I can remember, all the games we played against Atletico de Madrid have always been pretty level, pretty close, no matter the competition, and tomorrow's game is going to be no different. It's not going to be any different. It's going to be a close game. It's going to boil down to the tiniest of details. This is what has always happened, and this is what will happen tomorrow. Hello, Mr. Javier Lerraya from Cadena Ser. I was going to ask you a question about your starting 11 for tomorrow. In the first leg, your MVP was Rodrigo, but Modric also played well, Brahim as well. Would you say that if neither Modric nor Brahim start for Madrid tomorrow, that would be unfair on them? Well, what I have to do is the right thing for tomorrow's game, and those who start on the bench will contribute if and when they are called upon to come onto the pitch. If they do, I'm sure they will make a difference. Hello, this is Sergio Quirante from Lazón. You just said that these games always boil down to the tiniest of details. A couple of press conferences ago, you said that sometimes it is that certain players make a difference and some players simply run. What's more important ahead of tomorrow's game? Well, if you run a lot, then you are more likely to make a difference in a game, and if you make a difference in a game, you're more likely to win it. Hello, this is from Cadena Cope. Will you be rehearsing penalties this evening? And then another question, there are certain players, Tchouame, Rudiger, Modric, yourself, all of you, you're thinking about your future, I would argue. And do you plan on telling them anything at all ahead of tomorrow's game, given how they're poised for their future? Well, tomorrow will be playing the game we have to play, rehearsing penalties ahead of tomorrow, I think that would be a little difficult due to the mental situation that we have. We already have an idea of who can take a penalty if it comes to that, but that's not what we're thinking about right now. What we're thinking about right now is to put on a good performance tomorrow. Hello, this is from Diario Marca. You've already said plenty of times previously that Modric can play on both a Sunday and a Wednesday because he recovers well. But as a general rule, throughout the season, he's never been able to play 2 games in a row as a starter. Is there a reason for that? Look, I don't look at statistics when I pick my starting 11 ahead of a game. Modric shouldn't worry. I'm not looking at the statistics. I didn't even notice what you said, to be honest. Hello, this is from Diario AS. You've faced off against Simone 27 times at Real Madrid and as manager for other teams as well. You've overtaken Spalletti in that regard. Would you say that El Cholo is your toughest opponent, the toughest opponent in your career, tactically speaking? I do think he's a great football manager. And I think our ideas of football are very similar to one another. Hello, this is Adrian Foot from El Desmarque. We've been talking a lot about Kylian's and Vinicius feeling on the pitch, but do you think there's anything missing, however, between the two? Not really. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any of the things you said, so it's not something I can discuss with them. I do think they get along great with one another. Hello, this is Ruben Canizares from ABC. You just said that a good substitution could make a difference in a Champions League game. Who is more likely to make a difference tomorrow? Your players? Or is it you and Cholo, the managers? Well, this is all very, very clear. It's always the players who are responsible for a win, a victory. But they're also the culprits if we lose. Well, the culprits, you know who they are. Hello, Mister. I'm going to be asking this question in English.
Is the coach you have met the most in your career? Is there something special in this challenge or a particular memory for you?
In italiano lo contesti? Inglese? No. I think I have a great respect of this manager. He's a fantastic manager, and I said before, I think we with the same idea of football.
¿Qué tal, Carlo?
Hello, Carlo. Fernando Burgos, Onda Cero. Did you just say that footballers are both responsible for victories and the culprits if you lose? No, that's not what I said. You know who the culprit is. All right, then. So you're a man. Does it seem normal to you that a manager who's won so much as yourself could be held accountable for your team's losses? Well, this is not Real Madrid's problem. This is something that all coaches have to face. All coaches know this. This is what happens. The only person responsible for a loss is always the coach. This is nothing new. This is not new in football. This is something that we've all known for a long time. We're all aware of it. And I'm all right with it. I'm okay with it because I currently occupy a very sought after job position. I love this job. And lots of people would love to do what I do, so I accept the responsibility it comes with. Hello, this is from El País. Against Manchester City, Well, before the Manchester City game, you talked to your 4 defenders in detail about what you expected of them. Ahead of tomorrow's game, will you be holding similar conversations, or do you think they've already learnt their lesson playing against Manchester City? Well, really what I'm going to be doing is help my players stay focused on the game, on what we have to do on and off the ball, because we'll be highly motivated, and there will be a lot of pressure on us tomorrow. So that's what tomorrow's game really boils down to. We have to prioritise technique and tactics, because the rest they've already got. They're highly motivated. They're very much looking forward to playing this competition. They are committed. They want to give it their all. And that's absolutely normal in games such as this. Last 2 questions. Lola Hernandez from Sports for Mexico. You said that you and Simeone have similar ideas of football. What do you think his team is going to be trying to do tomorrow? Will they try to score early on, or rather attempt to counter-attack? Well, I can't really predict that. I'd rather stay focused on my team and take all of that into account. How to counteract low blocks, how to counteract counter-attacks, because Atletico Madrid can play in a number of ways. Defensively, offensively, they can do counter-attacks, they can do lots of different things. Much like we can do a number of different things tomorrow. Last question. Hello, Carlo. This is from Reuters. My colleague from Miguelito asked you a question about penalties. Right now, in the world of football, there's lots of discussion going on about how penalties should be taken. If there's something that can be trained technically, if they're more than a mental game. What do you think about that as a manager and as a former player? Do you think penalties are something you can rehearse, something you can train, or rather are they more of a mental game than a trainable skill? Are they more a matter of pressure than anything else? Well, if you want to train penalties, you know that not all of your players will be taking their penalty in the same way. Some of them are better penalty shooters than others, and when we draw up our penalty takers list, we take that into account, whether a player, for example, is better than another, more accurate, whether a player looks at the goalie or whether he doesn't. When we draw up that list, we do not take, we also take the mental aspect into account, because that's very important. I've coached players who were technically very good, but they simply couldn't handle the pressure of having to take a penalty in a penalty shootout. So yeah, if you ask me what's more important, whether it's the technical aspect or the mental aspect, my answer is the mental aspect, because if you're not mentally prepared, then that can impair your technique. I've won Champions League titles with defenders taking my penalties. In 2003, Nesta, Serginho, Kaladze took the penalties in the shootout. Why? Because mentally they were prepared for it. And if a player is honest, they can raise their hand and say, look, I'd rather not take this. And that's all right. This is a responsibility that you can take, but you have to take it only if mentally you feel fit for it. Thank you very much.